All right.
Live?
I think so.
I always ask that now. Are we live? We're live.
Yeah,
Hello,
I
everybody.
think so. Grant, I think your audio is a bit buzzy. Is it buzzy for you, China, or is it just me?
A little bit.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah. Not sure. I think it might have been your headphones when you
I'll get
put
new
them on.
headphones.
Mm,
I don't want to be buzzy for people out there trying to write today, or for you guys either. So I'll be right back.
all right. If anyone was curious who that is, that was Grant Faulkner. He's very new to NaNoWriMo. I'm sure none of you guys know him at all. But hello, everyone. Welcome to another virtual write-in, a very special one because it's the first one of November. And also China and I are super excited for this one because this one has been in development for what, 3 weeks?
Yeah, at least 3 weeks, actually. We are really excited about this one. Oh, and for those who are new to our virtual write-ins, I'm China. My pronouns are she and her. I'm the editorial intern for NaNoWriMo this year. So just so you know that. We're also really excited to have everyone here and to kind of see how your writing's been going so far this month. So.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Sandra. I am the programs intern for this fall, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm super excited to be here. And Grant?
Yeah, I'm Grant Faulkner. I'm Executive Director of National Novel Writing Month, and my pronouns are he and him. And this is my first virtual write-in of the NaNoWriMo season. I really, really need it. This week has been super tough. I need to catch up. So I'm really happy to be here. And I'm happy to be here with all these people. I'm so touched so many people showed up, and I see them in the chat.
Yeah, I think your audio is still a little bit
Still a
fuzzy.
little.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
You could, I think you were working just fine when we were doing the test we were talking before without the headphones.
Yeah, without the headphones might be better.
I'll try no headphones. The other one's broke. That's why I switched. I'm just grabbing headphones in the office.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, everybody. We will have a non-robot
This work?
Grant. Oh.
I can't hear you now.
Oh, no, you're still a little fuzzy. As Grant figures out the technical difficulties, should we talk a little bit about maybe what's going on this week that we want to address?
Yeah.
Some check-ins?
So we just wanted to do like a little mental health check-in because we know it's been a very stressful week with elections in the US and lockdowns in Europe. We know a lot of you guys have a lot of things on your plate that you're dealing with. So we just wanted to make sure, how you're feeling good. How's everyone feeling today?
Yeah. And I'm sure that we'll be waiting for a second while people catch up. Grant, how's your audio doing?
I plugged in the other headphones. One of them is broken though, so I think I can keep up though, as long as I'm not am I buzzy again?
You are buzzy. I'm so sorry.
Huh? I have no idea. I've got a very professional microphone here. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Is it super annoying?
Yeah.
You can tell me.
Not you, just the buzzing. You're
I understand. Awesome. I understand. Let me think. Maybe I'll just log back. I'll just log off and come back. You guys just keep going. I don't want to deprive our writers of the entertainment and the meaningful experience just because of my buzzy. So I'll be back.
Yeah, Catherine did say try the mic, try unplugging it in the chat. Just an FYI. And checking into the chat over here, a lot of people are stressed, but Marley says this virtual write-in is their reward finishing their day. Glad to hear it. We're glad to have you here, Marley. Some people are exhausted. Some people are frustrated. People are blue in a deep red state. But you know what? You're doing what you can, and that matters the most. Regardless of what political party you are.
I'm scared to talk.
Oh, you're good.
Am I good?
You're
Yes,
good.
you're
Yeah.
perfect.
Wow, it's amazing you know what? This is the perfect metaphor for this time in the month, is that you just have to unplug and then plug back in. And then things get better, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this was a lesson. Everybody just unplug, plug back in.
Yes.
Your novels will go fine from there. No buzziness.
Yeah. Sometimes you get a little static.
So
It's just your
this
brain trying
week
to
we're
figure
talking
out.
about.
Oh, sorry, China.
You're fine. This week we're going to be talking about point of view and narration. So Grant, do you want to start us off with our first sprint?
Oh, we got a first sprint. Yeah, definitely. This sprint is going to change your novel. It's going to just fuel it in so many great ways. I love taking another perspective, especially in this first draft. I think it's really important to explore your story and characters from a different point of view. And this first sprint is to write a scene from the point of view of an animal or an inanimate object. So, or you can be brave enough to craft a whole new story where the narrator is an animal. So, for instance, we could have this guy tell this next scene of your novel. Just looking at it there. Or your cat, or a plant in your room. I don't know, your car. Somebody else that has an unlikely perspective on your story. And how long do we do this word sprint for?
We're gonna do it for.
It's going to be for 5 minutes, and I have
5 minutes. Cool.
And I have my timer.
Oh, great.
So if everyone's ready, let's get started.
Yeah, just a reminder, everyone, China will let you know when there's 2.5 minutes left. You don't have to follow the prompt if you're not super feeling it. Carl O'Connor said static related prompts. If the static really invigorated your creative energy,
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
That's brilliant, actually. Tell it from the point of view of static. Yeah.
I would have never thought of that. That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, we're started, right, China?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're down to 2 minutes. 1 minute left, everybody. Okay, 10 seconds. Write down those last thoughts. And that's time. How did everybody do?
You know, feeling good about thinking about prompts from or scenes from different perspectives. Wrote about something inanimate, wrote about like just a chapstick on a desk looking out at the name writer. What about you guys?
So for me, I thought about writing a scene from the dog of a character I've named the surgeon. It did not go as well as I'd hoped, though. Dogs are hard to write. Maybe that's just me, though.
Mm-hmm.
Why is a dog hard to write, China?
Because I have no idea what dogs are thinking.
Oh, that is one opportunity of this exercise, I think, is to anthropomorphize, is that the word? Dogs to decide, I guess, decide what they're thinking. I did a dog too. I mean, I own a dog, so I think about what he's thinking a lot. And I just reversed the roles, you know, instead of having the human in charge, the dog actually feels like he's in charge. That's what we don't know. And I've always been intrigued, like dogs study us. If you have a pet, they study you all day and they pick up all of the little signs, you know, like they can read all of your gestures that even you don't know. You're giving them clues to what's next. So anyway, that's the tact I took, is like the dog as master observer, and he thinks that he's setting the agenda for the day.
I love that. I think that as someone who doesn't have a pet of the furry quality, um, I think the idea that your dog observes more than he lets on is a great thing to explore in writing. And I think something that some people in the chat have also been talking about, like AV wrote their memoir from their dog's perspective. So you guys are definitely not alone. I'm seeing like cats from cats' perspectives, squirrels, more dogs.
I love AV saying my dog grossly over-exaggerates his usefulness and helpfulness, which I think I probably do to my dog. Yeah. We got some good word counts here too. 170 or so. I wrote by hand, so I don't know how many I did.
Yeah, it's my theory that some of these rhymos are actually some sort of novel crafting robots who can write these words so fast, because sometimes we have like 600 words in WordSpread, and that makes no sense to me, because I also write by hand and I'm lucky if I get like 60 words.
Yeah, I think for past virtual write-ins, I've written on paper because I was kind of like thinking more about my characters, but I've been writing on keyboards. I mean, I'm writing in a text document right now, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm getting so many more words, but it looks so much smaller than when I scrawl on a piece of paper, and I'm like, yeah, I filled up half a page, but it's like, 30 versus like 100 words.
I want to say that I'm glad that my technical difficulties came in was useful for some reason for somebody. I see that one person opened the scene with static in the main character's ears.
That's lovely. Also, Ruben says that they're interested in knowing what pet I have. I had a goldfish for 10 years. His name was Alejandro. Yeah, he was like a carnival goldfish. We got him like like
You're
a
kidding
thing
me.
where you throw like the ping pong ball and you get a goldfish. And my parents were like, he's gonna die tomorrow, and then he lived the next day, and they're like, he's gonna die the next week, and then he lived the next week, and that continued on for 10 years. And I think I really loved him because I felt like it was spite fueling him to live, and I think that quality is wonderful in a pet.
I don't think I've heard of any fish living 10 years. And especially a carnival goldfish. I think a carnival goldfish deserves a story.
Yes.
I love this
There's
kind
no
of tawdry goldfish. I mean, usually like carnival goldfish, they come back and they've got diseases, and yeah, like you said, they die in a day. So kudos to you, 10 years.
It was really because we had a family friend who had raised fish, and when she saw that I had a fish, she was like, let me get you set up with like a tank and everything. So had a good
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
Everyone take care of their goldfish. Yeah.
Oh, another person relates a goldfish story. This virtual write-in is quickly changing topics into goldfish won at fairs or carnivals. This one lasted 3 years, which is also very admirable. I guess maybe I just was a bad fish caretaker because all mine, I don't know that anyone lived past a year.
I've never had any pets whatsoever. So no matter how many I wanted, but luckily my grandmother loves animals. So at one point she had like 12 cats and 5 dogs. So,
wow.
And 2 fish. So I've been around a lot of animals.
I was gonna say maybe your characters are your pets, but I think we know where that would end.
Oh, we got a one-eyed. See, this virtual write-in is like changed. We got a one-eyed goldfish called Pirate Winky. Anne Marie.
That's awesome.
Lived for 5 years.
My daughter's doctor has had 7 betas named Richard.
Like there is a character for a story. Why Richard? I hope he's not named Richard. Could be a narcissistic fish caretaker. I love that everyone's sharing fish stories.
This makes me feel so good.
Yeah, is this a sign that people really want to procrastinate and not write their novels?
Oh my.
I feel like it is.
Well, maybe we should encourage them to get it back on track with maybe a second sprint. Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, I think a second sprint would be good. Yeah. And as much as we love talking about animals, we all love animals here. You know, like we love Katie Portel's zebrafish, but we should probably get back on track.
Yeah, you don't want me. I was a fish hobbyist as a kid, so you don't want me get going on some of my fish stories.
I did not even know that was a thing. So
that's a lovely thing about virtual write-ins, you know, when you get off into a topic and it just sticks with you. Like we had a conversation about bagpipes a couple of weeks ago that haunts me to this day.
Really? I'll have to go back and watch that.
Oh, I
Bilbo
recommend it.
and the Bagpipes.
Yeah.
The Hobbit fan fiction.
So if you're curious why China and I now react to everything with bagpipes in the Slack, that would offer you context.
Okay, good to have.
Anyway, on to our next sprint/prompt.
Yes, on to our next little prompt.
Continuing in our trend of different POVs, we are going to turn to our novel. So write a scene from your novel, but in a different point of view. So maybe if you typically use first person, so like I, me, my, you could try writing in second of you and yours, or even third, or third, like they, them, he, him, something from outwards. And each of those, I think, really offer you a different insight into the scene and into the character that you choose to revolve your camera of writing around. So if you haven't fleshed out your nano project just yet, I mean, this could be a great way for you to start doubling down on what scenes you or what perspective you want to explore the rest of your novel in, or play around with, like, maybe your novel has different perspectives, and this is a way for you to experiment with which ones that you want to transition to in different scenes and chapters. So
I think that's a great prompt. Can I ask you a question just before we start?
Yeah.
China and Sandra, do When you first go to write a story, how much do you think about what perspective you're going to write it from? Or do you kind of have just a go-to perspective that you're generally comfortable with?
Oh, definitely. I always start writing in third person. Always.
Me too. That's why I ask it. Keep going though.
I always start writing in third person. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I tend to write longer works in third person and then shorter works in first person.
Same. Like my short stories are typically in first person, but like for NaNoWriMo, I always go head first in the third person. And I only write in second person if someone's, holding a shovel above my head, threatening me to.
Oh, a shovel, you say?
I just happen to have a shuttle. And so you'll write in second person then, China. Was that okay? We got that. So I think it's above your head.
Grant, would you like to explain that really threatening thing you just did?
Well, yeah, we didn't plan to introduce this until later, but this is the traveling shovel of death, very famous in NaNoWriMo lore. And I think China explained it in a webcast where we introduced it earlier this week. So China, what's the traveling shovel of death?
So it is something you use if you ever want to, if you're stuck in a scene and you don't really know what to do. What you can do is my favorite thing is kill off a character. It can be any character you want. And the traveling shovel of death comes through your novel and helps you kill off your characters. You can either use them to kill off like 3 or 4 people, 1 person, hundreds of people. And just remember that spoons are also tiny shovels. So you can also use a spoon if you want.
So I have a theory that the traveling shovel of death is responsible for more death on this planet than any other creature or object because of all the NaNoWriMo novels. So yeah, you could even write your perspective from the traveling shovel of death's perspective. Maybe the traveling shovel of death is feeling a lot of guilt at this point. Who knows?
Maybe it never wanted to be a traveling shovel of death.
Yeah. I did want to, we can start in just 1 second. I just wanted to say one thing about that. Like I'm like China. I for some reason start every story from the third person, or I tend to. And I think this exercise is really great to break those patterns, like I think we do a lot of things just because I don't know why I start stories from the third person. So it's good to experiment with different points of view. So this will be fun.
Okay, so if everyone's ready, I am not bloodthirsty, Jax 30. I see that. It's just something I enjoy. But anyway, if everyone's ready, we're just going to ask that you write your novel in a different point of view, or a scene from your novel at a different point of view. And we're going to do about, 10 minutes maybe? I think 10 minutes is good. So 10 minutes starting now. Okay, we're coming up on 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, so we're at 2 minutes. Okay, we have 1 minute left. And that's time. So,
All right.
how did you do, Sandra? How many words did you get that time?
I got, let me make a note, I got around 200 words of quick writing, but I will confess, I did just start writing the next scene of my novel instead of writing it from a different perspective, because my novel is in third person and not a very avant-garde sort of structure, so I don't think I would delve into first or second person very much.
What about you, Grant? How did you do that time?
I really enjoyed it. I think I wrote about twice as much as Sandra did. No, I'm joking. I wrote by hand, so I didn't tally it up, but it was a fun exercise because my main character in my novel is actually a mystery writer, and so he thinks about this stuff a lot, and so it was interesting to play with that. Yeah, and I'm going through right now trying to think of what types of novels and characters he writes about. Like, how most mystery series have, one character that goes throughout the series. So I'm trying to figure out who his main character is. So
I'm trying to figure out who your Hercule Poirot is. For me, I actually did really well on that prompt. I feel like I decided to do two things I normally never do, which is write in present tense and write in second person. So It kind of comes off like a bit like a choose your own adventure novel, but I kind of like it.
And this way you can live another day, China.
I know. The pressure was on.
Yes, I'm so happy. I'm great. You guys will see me in another virtual write-in. Who knows? If I hadn't written in second person, all bets are off.
My God.
Hannah Hicks says that she, like us, China, usually writes in the third person, and she switched to the first for the sprint. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And she wrote 511 words.
Yeah, I'm seeing some really, really impressive word counts. Also want to shout out to my people who wrote like 50 or 60 words, because that's okay. You got something down and I'm proud of you. I really love everything that people are dropping in the chat. Like Spirit Voice says that they couldn't think of a good second person scene, so they wrote the scene where the other two characters meet the third main character from the new girl's perspective. And I think that's great. I think that totally embodies the spirit of the prompt.
Mm-hmm. Emily Terlizzi did second person present tense. I bet I could. There's so few novels told like that, but I think it's such an interesting way to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of others that I've read like that. I'm thinking maybe Bright Lights, Big City, although that might be past tense.
Mm-hmm. Present tense is really hard. I admire writers who can do it effectively.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It adds some interesting drama to have everything in present tense. Yeah, but it's tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did thinking about discussions, like if someone else narrated your life, who would you want to narrate your life? And this goes to you two and everyone in the chat.
Yeah, let's hear. I want to see what the people in the chat say. So, yeah, I recently, I do the podcast Right Minded, and we had L.L. McKinney on, the author L.L. McKinney. And I'd read in an interview beforehand, and L.L. McKinney's done NaNoWriMo many times. And she had said that she wanted Nick Stone to write her autobiography if she ever had someone write her biography. And I thought that was interesting that she picked out a person. So I asked her, why Nick? And of course, it's just like, she trusted her. She thought Nick was super smart and would know her. Like to have somebody write your story, somebody who's going to be, we don't want an inaccurate story about us in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pretty big task, actually.
I just want to say, I love the fact that Nick Stone, not Nick Cage.
Nick Cave too? I want Nick Cave to write my, actually, I want Nick Cave to write my story. You answered it for me.
Oh my God. I was
Yeah.
just going to say, I just finished reading Dear Justice, Nick Stone's most recent book, and I was just absolutely blown away. So if anyone else in the chat has read it or was planning on reading it, do it. It's so good.
Yeah. Nick Stone's also done NaNoWriMo.
My God, my hero.
So we've got some great writers who've done NaNoWriMo. Let's see what the people are saying in the chat. Well, who would you? I've got Nick Cave. Who would you guys have?
Well, you took my answer.
Well, Nick Cave can write more than one life story. He's a very prolific guy.
Sure. I was actually thinking well, you said podcast, and I started thinking narrate as in like audiobook form. And I would actually want the comedians from The Dollop to talk about my life, because I think they would just make it so funny and not boring at all. And I would really want just two like wheezing with laughter people to talk about my life. I think that sounds remarkable.
That's good. Nick Cave's probably not going to write a real humorous take on me. We'll see. He might be funny in some way. How about you, China?
So for me, when we first talked about this prompt, I was thinking immediately musicals, because I love musical theater. And so if someone had to narrate my life like in musical format, I would want it to be Cynthia Erivo, who is a wonderful Broadway actress, and she's amazing. And it would be kind of cool because she could come up with my own theme song. I mean, who doesn't want their own theme song? So
yeah, that's great. That's better than just getting a standard biography that's just going to collect dust in the library. Nick Cave's greatest works.
All of them, like Nick Cage plus a comedy podcast plus Broadway. You've got yourself a very strange traveling show.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good, that would be a hit actually. Yeah. We can get Broadway to put that on.
A lot of people are picking Morgan Freeman in the comments. I feel like I've seen him like 3 times.
I love Morgan Freeman, so I completely get that.
Yeah.
Ooh, Dana Teves or Tevies, I'm sorry if I butchered that, says that no way. Actually, I'd love to have Haruki Murakami write my story. He'd make it all surreal and fun. And that, like, I would watch that in a minute. I've watched everything he's even been a part of, so I would watch that. Like, it would be the best thing ever. A lot of people are picking like really, like people I would never have thought of, but like that would be kind of cool. Like Benedict Cumberbatch. Like I would have never thought about Benedict Cumberbatch narrating anything, but
we've got Gilbert Gottfried as a narrator too, who would be very distinctive. But Dr. Seuss is writing the story. It's coming from Ruben.
Nice. Raven Williams says Olaf from Frozen has permission to narrate my life any day. That is quite an image. I will say Olaf was not my favorite character in the first movie, my favorite character in the second movie. So I've really come full circle around him.
Yeah, I'm a big Olaf fan.
Yeah. Well, you've got kids, so if you're not a big Olaf fan, I don't know what your life is going to be like.
Yeah, my kids and I often disagree on things, so it makes it all the more interesting.
We have a lot of really cool, like, I'm just looking through the chat, and like we have Danny DeVito, Patrick Stewart, Tom Hiddleston, Angelica Houston, which, you know, Morticia Adams, best one ever.
Shrek.
Got some interesting authors too. Tamar Pierce, V.E. Schwab. Yeah.
There's so much Samuel L. Jackson in the.
That would be wonderful, actually. I would love that. It would be hilarious to like listen to the audio of that or something, you know.
Well, I feel like if you've listened to Go the F to Sleep, you've got like a sense of how he would narrate your life.
Dalai Lama's in there. Leonard Cohen. We can bring Leonard Cohen back from the other side. I think he would be good in tandem with Nick Cave, so I think they can do a duo.
Would they both be singing though? Because
yes,
two different variants.
I'm going to give them creative control with this one. Yeah. I would hope they'd sing a little bit.
So we're coming down to time. So do you guys want to head into like our final sprint of the day?
Yes. China, do you want to introduce this one since I introduced the last one? And we can go for like 10 minutes since
yeah, 10 minutes should be good. So for our final sprint, we're just going to ask you guys to all write a scene where your character, for a reason that's entirely up to you, gets to see themselves through the eyes of someone else. So if you guys have ever seen, it was kind of an older movie now, like Being John Malkovich, where you kind of let your character enter the mind of someone else. You can play around with it. The character can be an animal or it can be another person, whichever one you. But we're gonna go for about 10 minutes on this prompt. So if you're all ready, I'm starting the timer now. Oh, and just as a reminder, you do not have to go with the prompt if it doesn't feel right to you. You can just continue working from another prompt or pick up where you left off in your story.
Nice shovel you're admiring, Grant.
Well, yeah, just don't forget.
I didn't expect you to be quite so threatening in our virtual write-ins, Grant.
It's not me.
Mm.
Traveling shovel of death just found my hands.
Oh,
yes. If you don't write the prompt, Grant is going to come find you with the shovel, I guess.
Rumor has it if you go look into the mirror and say Grant Potter 3 times, the shovel of death will clock you over the head.
You guys have made me into quite a menacing figure.
Because you're our boss.
Yes. We have to bring you down to our size. Oh no, I'm supposed to be writing. So we're at 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes left. Two minutes and 30 seconds. Let's try and get all those last words out. Last 10 seconds, everybody. Okay, and that's time.
All right. I continued writing my NaNoWriMo novel. What about you guys?
I did. Yeah, it was really great. Even though I'm probably not going to use this actual text in the novel, I thought it was a great characterization exercise because usually I'm just looking through my character's eyes myself, and so it was great to have another character in the novel take on that role. So it was really cool. How about you, China?
Yeah. Same. I think that for my character who is kind of like trying to come to terms with what she finally realizes that she is, and like seeing her through another like character, it's kind of really cool to see how another character would describe my character.
Yeah.
But what about for everyone else, you know?
People in the chat are talking about the word counts they get. Some of them are like astonishing. Carol talked about how their novel is about a telepath climbs into the mind of the Duchess and sees her as she sees herself, which is super interesting. Couple of things about what perspectives they prefer. Really interesting stuff. Yeah.
Great word counts here. I feel like people are plugging back in and finish their novels.
Yeah, and that's what, the virtual write-in is meant to be. It's a Friday night. Maybe you've got a little bit of time to sit down before dinner time, plug out.
I have to say, Genevieve Trout says that her brother walked in and asked if Grant, I assume that's me, was Jimmy Kimmel.
Someone earlier was mentioning how you looked like Hopper from Stranger Things, and I was laughing at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stretch and assume that's a compliment. But
he's a very lovable character.
I like Hopper a lot. He gained a lot of weight between the last two seasons. I feel a little Hopper-esque in that regard.
That's okay. It's COVID. Everyone has
anything goes.
Little protective layer.
A few extra cupcakes a day.
Yes, so much baking.
Who doesn't love cupcakes?
Yeah.
China, I will try your baking someday. We'll make it happen.
I would love for you to try my baking. If you didn't live so far away, I like baking, but then the fact is that someone has to eat it, so I just end up eating it, and that's just not healthy.
Oh, we could easily solve this problem if we were all in the same location. It is 4:58, so I'm thinking that we might want to start, as amazing as these comments are in the chat, we might want to start doing a little bit of our closing remarks. So thank you everyone so much for coming out. We had a blast talking about POV and narration with you guys, and I just wanted to remind everyone that in NaNoWriMo, if you're feeling a little bit alone, you should definitely check out our forums because there are so many writers there who are, struggling just alongside with you, and it's a really great place to feel motivated and inspire, and to in turn motivate and inspire others. So we have the adult forums, and for people who are ages 13 to 17, we have the Young Writers Program forum, which I'm personally on as a moderator, and I think it's a great environment just full of like really incredible creative youth that I wish I participated in when I was a young NaNoWriMo writer. And so we also have our virtual write-ins for the rest of the month as well. China and I will be here every Friday. Come say hi, come write with us. And China, if you want to talk about 30 covers, 30 days.
Yeah, sure. Just one other thing on virtual write-ins. You can just go to our YouTube page and just subscribe and follow so you can catch up, because me and Sandra, we do host Fridays, but you'll also see some wonderful virtual write-ins hosted by our MLs, our municipal liaisons, and guest kind of YouTube guests. So that's kind of cool too. It won't just be us. There are tons of opportunities if you want to, continue writing. And 30 covers, 30 days. If you announced your novel already on NaNoWriMo or the YWP site, you're eligible to, possibly win a cover. Just fill out, you'll see it in the forums, under 30 Covers 30 Days 2020. And you can might win a professionally designed cover for your novel. And you have until the 15th to kind of nominate your novel for that. Grant, do you want to mention anything about Write the Next Chapter?
We have special messaging going out around Write the Next Chapter because we are at this crucial moment we're always at a crucial moment in the history of the world. We always want you to write the next chapter, to take your writing into the world. You know, we have in our mission statement, we actually have that part of our mission is to help people create worlds on the page and beyond the page. So keep that in mind. Your writing shouldn't be separate from your real life. So they should inform each other and feed each other. And I do want to mention that, you know, some of those names that came up in terms of like narrating our lives, they are also hosting virtual write-ins. I think we've got Morgan Freeman, Angelica Houston. I believe Nick Drake's going to chip in on one. So yeah, there's a lot of great programming coming your way. I bet we can toast. Should we give a big toast for people to plug back in? Do we all have the same mug?
I think we do.
So.
That is a surprise.
And you too, dear listener, can have this mug.
This isn't a product placement. It's just a fun mug that we all happen to own. And toasting many, many words, because what it is, you know what I realized today is that my word count, I got caught up today and it went up to about 10,000, and that's what it's supposed to be. So this is like 1/5 of the way through NaNoWriMo. So we got 40,000 more words to go, which means 40,000 more sips from this mug. So
interesting. I think I will toast everyone I know who is a little bit stressed right now because of current events. I think everyone who is feeling particularly distressed, my toast goes out to you guys. You guys can do it. You can get through this. You can be creative, and if you can't be creative, that's okay as well.
Well said.
My toast is for all the amazing writing groups out there, for people, you know, who can join like a writing group for whatever they're writing in or their location, and just having, you know, buddies to help keep those writing days, keep writing and keep those sprints going. And for those people who are updating their word counts every day and winning badges.
Yeah.
Keep winning badges.
Toast.
Thanks, China.
Toast.
Toast. Clink.
Keep the words flowing.
Oh, am I drinking it? Okay.
Jimmy Kimmel style.
Thirsty.
Oh my God. No, now nobody can tell you guys apart, Grant. All right.
Oh.
Cool.
So thank
Well,
you so much for, you know, coming out.
Yeah, Grant.
Writing with us.
Oh, it was a blast. It was a ball. The highlight of my day. So thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who showed up. And I loved reading the chat. I'm going to sit and read it right after this is over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody shout out to Grant so that he'll come back to more virtual write-ins and threaten people with a shovel once more.
Oh, yeah. Traveling Shovel of Death, always here for you and your novel.
Travel Shovel of Death is here to validate you guys.
Yeah. Now waving goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.